Hi, Freed. Thanks so much for being here. Can you introduce yourself? Tell me who you are, what is your degree, and where you're from?
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. So, my name's Daniel Freed. I'm an MBA student in entrepreneurship and innovation at the University of Oregon Lundquist College of Business. I'm one of the co founders of Gaither, and I'm from Oregon, from Salem.
That's great. How did you get into Invent Oregon?
I got into Invent Oregon through the Provost Innovation Challenge. We went and did an internal entrepreneurship business plan competition at the University of Oregon, and that's how I ended up here.
Was there a faculty advisor attached to the Provost Challenge that you worked with?
Yeah, my advisor, Nathan, although I think he also runs the competition.
Great. How did Nathan support you in the Provost Challenge?
Nathan got us hooked up with a number of great mentors. So I met Kim Chin and Dr. Jeremy Green. They were my mentors for the challenge and really helped me work through some of the issues with our specific business plan and how to really reach out and meet the needs of people in our space in healthcare.
How did that mentorship impact Gene Gazer?
It was wonderful. Mr. Chen got me linked up with a colleague of his, Dr. Jizhong Shi of Georgia College of Medicine, to talk about biomarkers. I was speaking with Panaceutics, a startup that's doing personalized nutrition platform. Dr. Green advised me about certain things. He's a Lean Sigma 6 black belt, so he helped me work on the operations plan. It was a great experience. It was wonderful to work with him.
That's really great to hear. Let's talk about your idea. What is Gene Gazer?
Gene Gazer, at its base, is a platform for personalized nutrition. We have a number of verticals that we're working on. Those are prenatal supplementation and mental health. Between the two of them, I think we are working on the prenatals primarily for this competition, but there's a nice synergy that they use the same biochemical process.
Where did you get the inspiration for Gene Gazer?
I got the inspiration for Gene Gazer from my father. He's worked in psychology for his entire career. Has a clinic for the last 15 years, private practice clinic. So a lot of this came from working for the clinic, having been essentially raised in psychology. It was a great space to work on commercialization. There's a lot of biochemistry and papers that are published that never see the light of day, and we're trying to drag at least a little bit of the genetics and mental health and nutritional interventions from the lab into the commercial space.
Yeah, that's great. Can we back up a little bit, and can you tell me again what exactly Gene Gazer is designed to do?
Yeah, Gene Gazer's a platform to personalize prenatal nutrition. What we're trying to do is use science for healthier babies. We're looking at biomarkers, that's genetics, that's blood levels of vitamins, and then personalizing the supplements specifically for optimal health.
Oh, okay, great. That makes perfect sense. What problem does this address, and why is it important?
The biggest problem is that your prenatal just generally isn't personalized. There's a lot of friction there trying to go through essentially a 23andMe report, take 50,000 individual data points, and then make a useful recommendation that could be impactful, and to do that without necessarily involving dozens of geneticists, and really building a platform to streamline this service to get women the help that they need with personalized nutrition.
This may be a kind of easy question, but what is a prenatal?
A prenatal supplement is all of the nutrition that you need to grow a baby optimally. There's a number of nutrients. Folate is a big one. The omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids are a big one. There's a number of other vitamins and nutrients that are required. And right now, you get all of those all the time instead of varying them according to the physiological levels that a woman needs during a specific part of pregnancy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it does. You, in order to optimize a baby's development in utero, you are creating and providing a supplement for mothers to take in order to do that. Yes.
Exactly.
Thinking about moving Gene Gaither into InventOR, what are some of the biggest challenges or obstacles you foresee encountering?
Yeah, some of the biggest challenges in the prenatal space are getting the supplement manufacturers on board. So what we really need to do is develop a really solid programmatic treatment plan to deliver all of these nutrients so we can start to build the micro SKUs, the personalized components of each prenatal that could be dropped into a larger system that could help a woman go from preconception all the way to postnatal and to vary those nutrients to provide exactly what she needs.
Great. I'm curious, of all the applications for nutrition, why did you decide to focus on a prenatal?
Prenatals seem like a very impactful area. There's a lot of emerging research. Specifically, the National Academy released a work group document, a symposium last year on all of the emerging research on pregnancy and lactation. So it seems both really impactful, and it's an area that we'd worked on a lot for the mental health side of things. We really started primarily as a mental health genetics company a couple of years back and worked on an SBIR grant. But the prenatals seem like a much more impactful and discrete product rather than the large scale platform based mental health genetics analysis component of that. So we were able to pivot our existing research into something that could easily be much more impactful and hopefully be easier to develop.
In about a minute or less, can you tell me what the connection is between mental health and nutrition?
Yeah, mental health and nutrition are inexorably linked. The allostatic balance, the way that your brain keeps itself healthy, requires huge amounts of various nutrients. Not only the macronutrients, where the brain consumes maybe a fifth to a quarter of the total calories and oxygen in the blood, but it also needs all kinds of proteins, fats, and vitamins to produce neurotransmitters, which are very complex chemicals. So a number of these biochemical systems we share in common with the developing brain in infancy. So having enough of these, and especially maintaining the balance of nutrients correctly, is highly impactful in the way that it allows the brain to work optimally.
Great, thanks. That was actually pretty succinct and pretty good. That's quick. A couple more questions for you. Looking back, let's say we get to the end of InventOR. What do you hope to get out of your experience?
I'm really looking forward to the feedback on product development. One thing that we've always, I guess I should say, one thing that we haven't worked towards is the product development side. We've been focused on the science and the platform and the digital health side of things. So it's great to have a focused reason to work on the product rather than having that be an afterthought.
What is the most important thing you want judges to understand about your invention? What sets you apart from the competition?
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing that I would want judges to understand is that we are trying to build a much broader platform than just prenatals. We also want to recognize that there's mental health effects as a component of the prenatal nutrition and postnatal development. There's a lot of emerging research that, for instance, postpartum depression is influenced by a woman's intake of omega-3 fatty acids. So the omega-3 fatty acids could be a preventative treatment for postpartum depression. So we aren't on the traditional side of medicine where you have a disease and they cure you. We are on the precision side of medicine, or P4 medicine, where we are trying to be both predictive and preventative and intervene before disease happens, and that we are building a larger platform than just a prenatal supplement or just postnatal supplements to help with postpartum depression. We're really trying to build a much larger system, and it's sometimes difficult to communicate the much larger vision of a platform-based solution.
That's the really fascinating aspect of nutrition, is that it's predictive and preventative when it's at its best. Why did you call it Gene Gaither?
I think we just came up with the name in an afternoon. It was nice and it wasn't registered, so we took it.
All right, that's all I got. Juan can interject if he has anything else, but otherwise, thanks so much again for your time.